Nearly 50 years ago today, a mere 5 years after Neil Armstrong landed on the moon, a young man stood next to a pond like the one that's behind me. It's 5:30 in the morning. It's cold. It's very cold. It's a clear and has been a clear night. And like 50 years ago, a young boy was working at 14 years old, working as a skating guard at a local park district here in Chicago. And it's that day, that night, that he committed his first crime. It was a very cold night, sub-zero temperatures, we know at the time, based on records. He shouldn't have been there, but he was there because he had a job to do. And he's not a hero. We're not making him to be a hero by any means, but it's a story. And he was cold. We now know that he was in signs of hypothermia. We know that he now had signs of frostbite. But despite that, he stayed there and he did his job. He stayed there because maybe he was scared that his dad was going to yell at him because he came home early. Maybe he was scared to leave because his boss might come by and see that he had left his position and he might get fired. So he stayed there on that clear night, that very cold night, and he stayed and did his job. And he committed a crime. He was so cold that he went to a house near the pond and he broke in the side door of the garage looking for something to keep him warm. And he stole a garbage bag, a recycling bag, a big bag, big enough for a 14-year-old kid to fit in. And he stole the bag and he went back to his post and he leaned against the fence and he climbed in the bag to try to keep himself warm. But it didn't work. He was still cold. He was crying, tears streaming down his face, only they were frozen even too soon to get to his lips. He was in trouble. But finally he decided to leave. It was bad enough. He could have gone to someone's house, but for whatever reason, that kid didn't go and knock on someone's door saying, "I need help, I'm cold." He decided to go home. His feet were numb. It was a mile walk. He walked home, he ran home with the skates around his neck. And when he got home, he got in the bathtub, he took a shower, and tried to warm up. And I've talked to that kid over the years, almost 50 years ago, asked him why he did it, why he stayed. He still doesn't know, for whatever reason. Point of this story is he knows what it's like to be cold. He never forgot what it was like to feel the frostbite and see when people were cold, people were hurting, people were scared, people were frozen, people didn't know what to do. He never forgot how it felt to be that person in that garbage bag. The story is just a simple story of a kid being cold. But what it also tells us is that when we experience things, when we do things for whatever reason, they linger for a long time. The choices that we make at 14 years old, the choices that we make at 24 years old and 34 years old, they stay with us a long time. They are choices that we make. We have choices. At least most of us do in a free world. And if we do have choices, we have to live with those choices and those consequences as we go forward. And so on this morning, this 5:30 a.m. morning, on a very cold morning, I think about that kid 50 years ago and how he felt and how it affected his life and what he's done and what he's thought about and what he's done with his family, his career, his life, and how he sees philosophy. And that kid never admitted that he committed the crime. He never apologized to the people that he broke in the house and stole their garbage bag. He never told the police. His boss never found out. He got paid. His dad didn't ask. His mom didn't ask. And he never told anybody other than his wife. He never told anybody about the crime he committed that day over 50 years ago. He never told a soul until this morning, on this very cold morning. Thank you.